Has anybody here ever ran into an objection from one of their shippers? Raise your hand. From one of their prospects, not even a shipper. Okay, well, we all have, right? It's obvious. We're in sales. That's how it works. So if your target audience is shippers, because some of you are selling different things, different capacities, what's the number one objection that you run into? Preston, give me your number one objection. Just give me the number one objection you run into during your daily, weekly routine. We don't use brokers. Okay. Great. We don't use brokers. What else? Give me yours, Cliff. Okay, price. So it's price. Okay. So we got price, no brokers. We do LTL. What else? Anybody else got any? Chime in. Go ahead. Connie, come on. You've been awfully quiet. I need some love from you today. I'll make it easy. Trust, price, and we don't use brokers. In my opinion, these are the three most common objections. Now, nobody comes out and says, I don't trust you. Okay, they don't do that. It's disguised. It's disguised in not being willing to open up, right? Because they don't trust you. They don't know you, right? You gotta, these are, you know, there's probably some other things in here. Time is another one, but I believe that time comes into the trust area. If you trust somebody, you'll give them time. So, you know, some might argue that time is another objection. That's a big objection. I don't have the time. It's really not that I don't have the time. It's that I don't have the trust, in my opinion. Okay? So we're going to talk about trust first. The best way to overcome trust, you guys know this. This is Sales 101. Build rapport from the beginning. Okay? There's some people that are just naturally talented at building rapport with people. And there are other people that just struggle with it. Okay? I talked about a gentleman earlier in the day where I said, you know, people would just give him a shipment just to shut him up because they couldn't stand talking to him anymore. He would wear him out. He was the guy that never talked about it was all business. Business, 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 business. All he did was drill about business. There was no rapport. There was no personal. There was no relationship building. There was no humor. There was no nothing. It was just dry, and he was a hammer. He worked his ass off. Excuse the language, but he worked his ass off. But the reality is he got very little results because he didn't know how to build relationships. He was lousy at building relationships. The first thing I learned in sales, the first ever lesson I ever learned in sales was, and it's not on here, I almost put it on here, but I'll share it with you, was you need to find the deer head on the wall. Now, I'm a rural, I grew up in farm town, okay? So you can tell by that, right? You got to find the deer head on the wall. And what they mean by that is you need to find common ground. You walk up to a guy's door, you knock on the door, he opens the door, and you see a set of golf clubs on the porch. Or he opens the door and you literally see a deer head on the wall. Or he's driving a Corvette. Or he has a brand new BMW. Or he's doing work on his house and he's adding a deck. You see him, whatever it is, right? You're going to see something and you need to find some sort of common ground with him. You need to find common ground. You need to find something that you have in common.